You know, people that carry revolvers realize that there's usually two general ways to carry reloads for your revolver. And those two ways are speed strips and speed loaders. And by the way, when I say reloads for your revolver, I don't mean you're carrying reloaded ammunition. I mean you're carrying ammo to reload your revolver. Some people had a problem making that distinction in one of my previous videos. But like I said, there's two really popular ways to carry them. That is a speed strip and a speed loader. Now, I have always carried the speed strips, but recently I switched to speed loaders. And people noticed that in my recent EDC video, so I thought I'd take a moment today to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of both of these and tell people why I switched. First off, we'll talk about the speed loader. And the strength of the speed loader is one simple thing. It's much, much faster than a speed strip. You can load all 5, 6, or 7 rounds at one time, even 8 rounds in some guns. Okay, using the speed loader is really easy. You just load all 5 rounds at once by lining them up with the holes, turning the little knob, and then you just pull the thing away, and it is loaded. Now, one thing I will suggest with speed loaders is get the ones where the bullets don't wiggle. The ones with the bullets that wiggle make it harder to align. I got this one because it looked cool, but it doesn't work as well as these plastic ones. This is all aluminum, so it's kind of nice, but these plastic ones hold the bullets much more firmly and make it much easier to load quickly. Now, the drawbacks of the speed loader, it's basically just one drawback. There's one real strength, one real weakness. The strength is the speed, the weakness is the fact that it's big and it's thick. It holds the bullets just like you would in the cylinder of the gun, so it takes up some room. When you place them in a case to carry on your belt, if you're carrying 1 or 2, they do stick out a little bit, they do print a little bit. But, you know, this isn't shaped like a gun, isn't going to look like a gun if it prints, so I don't care if it prints. Now let's talk about speed strips. And first off, we'll talk about the major weakness of the speed strips, the actual con of them, and that is they're slower than speed loaders. Now when you're loading with a speed strip, you're going to be loading 2 rounds at a time. You're just going to slap them in the hole, snap it free, and go on to the next 2. As you load the top 2, the weight of the bullets and the snapping it free will cause them to rotate downwards. Then you just do the next 2. Now, I can do that actually faster than I just showed you, but I wanted to show you how it works. And I used to be able to do it faster than I can now, but I've slowed down a little bit in my old age. Now, as far as advantages of the speed strips over speed loaders, the biggest advantage is they're thin. The bullets are in a line, so they don't take up much room. When you carry 2 speed strips in a pouch, it's very thin, doesn't take up a lot of room. This just goes over your belt, holds in really tight to your body. It's really thin, really easy to conceal. Now, speed strips do have one other advantage that might not be that common, might not come into play very often, but it is there, so we'll discuss it. If you fire 2 or 3 or 4 rounds from your carry gun while seeking cover, if you have a speed strip, you can easily replace those rounds. You can top off your firearm without having to remove the rounds that are not spent. If I was using a speed loader here, I have to load all the rounds at once, so I would have to eject all these rounds here and put these in, which isn't a real big problem. I have always been taught to put my ejected rounds in my pocket anyway after I fire my gun. So I would do that anyway. And then later, if I needed those rounds, they're still in my pocket. But if I ever get to a situation where I'm having to dig reloads out of my pocket, I am probably in a bad way and I'm probably not going to make it. So hopefully I'll never get to that situation. But like I said, with a speed loader, you can just top it off. Now, some people are like, well, how do you just top it off? How do you know which rounds are spent? Well, all you got to do is pop them up just a little bit and let them fall back down. Your rounds that are spent will stay up. They have expanded a little bit. They'll stay up in the cylinder. And then you can just use your speed strip to put in however many rounds you need to put in to replace it. So there you have it. That's really the big differences. Those are the strengths and weaknesses of speed strips and speed loaders. And you can see I've chosen the speed loader, and I'll tell you why. It's simple. It's because I'm getting older and I don't have the dexterity in my hands I used to have. I have arthritis in several of my fingers. As you can tell from looking at some of my fingers, they're covered in scars where I've ground the knuckles to the bone. And this fingertip, you can see a scar there probably where it had to be replaced. It had to be put back on after I tore it off in a woodworking accident. Still have no feeling in it. So I've broken most of my fingers at least once and several of them more than once. So I don't have the maneuverability of my fingers, that fine motor skills that I used to have. So these just work for me better now, being able to slap all the rounds in at once, twist a knob and have it come out. That just works better for me now. Now, if you're like me and you carry a Rhino and you're worried that there may not be speed loaders out there for you, there are. Now, speed strips will work with any gun, but speed loaders have to be specific to the gun you're using. Now, there are speed loaders out there made specifically for the Rhino, but they're expensive, they're all aluminum, and they're the ones that let the rounds jiggle, so I don't like those. But if you get one of the HKS M3 reloaders, I think they're made for the Colt and the Ruger Single 6, they work fine in the Rhino. And they're only like $7 or $8. As you can see, they go right in, twist right off. And these ones are the ones that hold it solid. They don't let the bullets wiggle. Those aluminum ones that are more expensive let the bullets wiggle. I don't like that. So there you have it. That's how they're different. That's why I chose the one I chose. Which one you choose is up to you. You ain't even my real dad. Zyler! Who are you yelling at? Keep your voice down. Talk in a regular tone. And no more cursing. Oh, bastard. Twist the little knob, pull it away, and it's loaded. Fuck, I got it out of frame. Stay in fucking frame. Helps if people watching the video can see what's happening. When you carry them in a... Puberty's setting in. Twist the little knob, pull it away. God fucking damn. How much more difficult could this thing be? I anticipated this being so fucking hard. This one is horrible. Come on, out. Get out of here. I'm gonna squirt you. Get. Caden! Turn that music down! This isn't fucking Soul Train.